What is going on, everybody? All right, let me switch this to... There we go. It's a little bit different because we're not doing gameplay. What's up, folks? What is going on? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Showcase Day. We got Battle for Brooklyn Year 7 Showcase coming up in less than an hour. So, thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to live watch it and react it. As a lot of you likely know, once the showcase is over, we can then chat about a bit more things related to my trip to Massive last week that I've talked about in some videos. So it's going to be good. But what do we got going on? Let me scroll up in chat here. Chris, Solar, Dale, I already said, oh, there's two Solars. That's confusing. Gregory, Vince, Rules, Matthew. I'm just scrolling way through. Options, Shen, Tornado, Ure, Kelly, Fraser, Goth, Owl. So many people in chat. What's going on, folks? We already have over 250 people in here. Thank you so much for tuning in. How we doing, everybody? Corp, no, unfortunately, I'm not on Twitch. There are Twitch drops live starting at the top of the hour and going for the next, 5 days. So absolutely, if you guys would rather watch somebody who has drops enabled, I totally understand. But again, those will be live for several more days, so you can tune into a Division stream on Twitch to get those. But what is going on, people? Zombie with the 26-month... Actually, hold on. I forgot to turn up my mic a little bit. I need to tweak my settings, but hopefully that's good. With the 26-month member message, good to see you, Mr. Gold. Very good to see you, Zombie. 26 months is insane. Thank you for being a member for over 2 years. Yeah, legend. In the DZ, just doing some farming. Nice. Almost doing 100K. Let's go. Thank you, Beasley. It's crazy. I still don't know how to process that. Kyle, I've been fantastic, man. Busy, but fantastic. How about yourself? You got a Discord server? Yes, the invite link is in the description of the stream and all of my videos. Turn on Twitch muted in the background tab and then watch RG for the good stuff. Thank you, Chris. So yeah, folks, we've got the showcase going on today. If I tab over here, you can see 45 minutes from right now is when it's beginning. The live chat's popping off over here. 1,300 people waiting. It's already got over 1,000 likes. Not long to wait. What's up, Postman? Am I too late? Did they reveal the new postal apparel? I asked. So, actually, the showcase, the Brooklyn DLC is actually just post worker apparel. You got your wish. What's going on, man? Zombie said I've been out of town, so I didn't get to do the Easter event. No! I'm sorry. Did you get to log in for the free handbasket, or were you out for that window? Because they added that at the end of it. Stoked for the DLC. Hope you had a blast of Massive. It was a crazy time. I mean, you know. Yeah, like I said, we'll talk about it a lot more after the showcase. What's up, Carl? What'd you miss? Today is the reveal for Brooklyn in Year 7. Damian, Boney, what's going on? Jive, what's going on, man? 45 minutes can't go fast enough. Joshua, thank you so much for the kind words. Fire in the sky. Too many people in chat. Lucas said, nothing like a Division showcase with RogueGold on my birthday. Lucas! I wish I had a key command for celebration. Happy birthday, dude. People got to drop some happy birthdays for Lucas. Amazing mod here on the channel, on Discord. Been a fantastic supporter for years now. I appreciate you, man. Happy birthday. I hope it's a fantastic one. So many things popping in chat. So, I have a few tabs pulled up here that we can scroll through, just obviously looking at the road to get here, because we still got about 40 minutes, but I wanted to go live and chat, as per usual. Postman using his member message 31 months to say happy birthday, Lucas. 31 months, man. Thank you for that. As if you don't do enough for me already. Thank you so much. So I figured it might be fun to kind of take a look back in time to the path that we've taken to get to today, if that sounds of interest to anybody. Sorry, as I was drinking some water there. So we first learned about the DLC over 2 years ago, just over 2 years and 3 days ago, on April 20th, 2023. If y'all remember the Division Day live stream that they did back before Heartland was canceled. Rest in peace. Love from India, bro. Hey, thank you for tuning in, my friend. Right back at you. Chris with the 12 months. Where's the year gone? Glad to be here still. Chris, thank you, man. I appreciate you commenting all the stuff, tuning in, being an awesome person. Thank you, thank you. Not going to lie, watching a bunch of my favorite community members go on that trip via the updates on Twitter really rekindled my fire for this franchise. I'm glad to hear it, man. I mean, it's come with its fair share of drama. There's a lot of people online who are dissatisfied with that. But if nothing else, and I mean even removing myself from it, I think it's indicative of some of the investment that they're putting into the franchise, right? You don't spend thousands of dollars getting people out there for no reason. So, yeah. Control Alt Defeat with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Going to Schmitz and Giggles, nice. Gregory, Boney Bernie, and CND. 5 people coming over to Rogue Studios. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Courtesy of Control Alt Defeat, if you're here, please drop them a thank you in the chat for that kindness. Much appreciated, man. And Limitless with the 11-month member message. Also a happy birthday, Lucas. Thank you all for the kindness. Lucas deserves it. He's an amazing guy here in our community. Sorry, as I readjust my mic. So, as we were saying here, 2 years ago is when they announced this. Let's see. Is the volume?
Your host, Chris.
That sounds about right. So I'll just play the beginning part here where they revealed the DLC.
Waters from the Ubisoft news team, and today we're covering 3 games. The Division 2 and its plans for Year 5 of new seasonal content, a new game mode, and a new DLC. The Division...
That's right. The Brooklyn DLC was originally going to come with Year 5. Where does the time go? So that's pretty wild. Matt Kane with the 13-month member message as a Heartlander. Digging a ditch and listening, yes, literally. Well, that's quite the feat, man. Thank you for tuning in despite that. I hope you're not breaking your back too much on it. And thank you for being a member for 13 months, dude. You know I appreciate you. Primate, the legend, 34 months as a member. Time to reactivate Primate to Brooklyn? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Welcome back, man. And as always, thank you for 34 months as a member. Good Lord. Carolina Skies, I'm new to your channel. Thank you for everything you've done for the Division community. Carolina, thank you for that. Welcome. I hope you've enjoyed your time so far with us, and you're more than welcome. That's very kind of you to say. So yeah, Year 5 is when they originally said. If we take a look at the roadmap here.
Division 2.
So they move on to the overall Year 5 roadmap.
It'll start with Season 1, Broken Wings.
Season 1, skip that a little bit.
Purpose. Season 2.
Season 2 is when we got Paradise Lost, which, if we're being real, that was our last true new content addition to the game in October of 2023. which is wild since we're now in 2025. But we had that.
You venture out to the Merritt Estate to confront the cleaners. And in Season 3, it's back to New.
Originally, Year 5 did not have Project Resolve on the roadmap. That was like the first thing that dislodged the DLC's release, because they later on decided they needed to put everything on hold and do Project Resolve to improve the game's code and backend and health and all of that. So that happened.
New York City for the holidays, and new revelations about Aaron Keener and his rogues. And then, in Season 4, new story DLC with new zones, new main missions, and a whole new endgame structure.
So, by the way, the endgame structure there was definitely related to the stuff they did across Year 6, is what we learned later on. But, as they have labeled it since day one, story DLC, new zones, new main missions is what they've talked about. Of course, they were teasing the fact that it was Brooklyn here. We got the confirmation a few months later that that's what it really was. So that's crazy that over 2 years ago is when we got the reveal that they were making a DLC, right? Then we got the first delay announcement in December of that same year, where they talked about how Project to Resolve reshaped the roadmap. They announced Year 6 and how it was going to come with each of the following things. And as you can see here, it was then slated that for Year 6 Season 3, which is what we're playing right now, would come with the story DLC, new main hunt, and apparel event. It is interesting looking back that they plan to do apparel events still with Seasons 2.0, so that must have been something that they changed somewhere in here. Anyway, that was the original plan. Then, of course, we got to January, where I should have pulled up that little thing, but they announced that it had to be pushed by a little bit. They said it would still come in 2025. That's what we know as of right now, is that it's going to launch sometime in 2025. But they announced the name on stream, which is Battle for Brooklyn. They give us this key art. Yeah, the DLC will be launching this year. Here's a sneak peek for your eyes only. Then, of course, we've gotten the little teaser snippet from the anniversary stuff. I'll play this really quickly. I'm sure you all have seen it, but of course we're just going through here. So we had that. Then, of course, I said more info coming today. April 23rd, 2025 is today. Primate said, I was in Brooklyn this past weekend and walked past the same street from this teaser. No kidding, man. That's crazy. Well, I mean, that's always the coolest. Well, I won't say the coolest, but one of the cool things about the Division is how you can recognize those locations from real life, right? And how accurate it is to stuff. Wo Chun's member for 3 months said, who else is pumped for this DLC? Thank you for being a member for 3 months, man. Hopefully it's a good day. I mean, by the end of the reveal, we will know if people are satisfied with what they're promising, what looks to be on offer. We'll find out. Libertarian said, so did you guys get to play the new DLC? As I've said, once the reveal is over, then I can talk. I unfortunately can't say anything right now. But we shall find out soon. Over 700 people in stream. Thank you for shouting that out, Zombie. I don't have my usual view where I can see the view count. 700 people in here. Thank you so much for tuning in. If we go back to the tab, we are 30 minutes away. As you can see right here. What happened to my DPI? My mouse feels slow. Anyway, it's almost time. 1,500 people waiting. So yeah, we got that teaser. Then yesterday, they gave us our first official concept art. They said don't miss the showcase tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. This was that image. There's in my opinion, a better aspect ratio that the Ubisoft account posted, where you can actually see a bit more on the sides. But we know that the DLC is going to take place in autumn. They've announced that. My mouse is freaking out right now. I'm moving it side to side, and it's going in that straight line. Anyway, as I look through chat, the Gaming Brigade is in here. What's up, Sergeant Graybeard? He said, yo, buddy, at work and watching. Appreciate you being here, man. Great friend of the channel there, Sergeant Graybeard. I'm sure you all know him. What's up, Punisher? Hola, Rogue. Glad you went to Massive and met Graybeard. I know. It was really awesome to get to meet him and everybody there. I mean, I've talked and known so many of these people online for so many years. It was really surreal to be there. Nito Clips with the $2. Thank you so much. Any news on crossplay? Unfortunately, they have not announced anything on crossplay. They've previously said that while it is technically possible for them to do, it's highly unlikely that they will do it in the Division 2's life, because it would take a lot of their resources. They don't have a very big development team, and that also comes with a degree of risk because you're migrating save files. That can get weird. I think personally, it probably makes a lot more sense for them just to wait and do it with Division 3. Like, not talking from a player perspective, but from like a financial perspective, that probably makes a lot more sense, as much as I would love to have it. Because, of course, I know people on every platform that I would love to play with. What's going on, Aiden? Did you meet Daria, Pelle, and Yannick in Sweden? I did. I did indeed. Yeah, it was a really cool time. Just to protect myself, again, I'm probably going to hold most details until after the showcase, because that is officially when the embargo for things is over. But, what's up, Swag said, Rogue Agent Gold meets Yannick the Beard. Canon event has been achieved. 2 legendary characters in the Division universe. That's funny. Hope you're doing well, man. Shamilla, I'm probably saying that incorrectly. I apologize if so. Said thanks to creators like RG, we finally have our voice heard. I tried my absolute best to represent not just my own curiosities and interests in this game, but all of y'all as well. So, oh, we got Morton Ryberg in the chat. What's going on, Morton? Very good to see you. Touching save files for a game this big is a big risk, super complex, 100%. Yeah. And that's why I think, like, especially because we know Division 3 is in the works, it probably makes a lot more sense for them just to invest in that from the beginning. That seems to be what Ubisoft is doing with most of their properties and games these days. Zombie with the 5, thank you. I know it's not likely, but I'd kill for a Watch Dogs and Division crossover. I mean, they said on the latest stream that they were looking into doing more crossovers after, like, the Stalker stuff, right? So, you never know. They could do stuff with Ubisoft properties. They could do stuff with external ones like they did with Resident Evil. You never know. All right, so that's all of the I just thought it was cool to look at that little timeline recap. How long do we got? 28 minutes until go time. All right, so now that we have looked all of that, guys, I want to know some of your predictions. So again, they've from the beginning talked about this as a story DLC. Yannick confirmed a long time ago that it is going to be smaller than Warlords of New York. So with those facts in mind, and we know as of right now that it's coming sometime this year, I want to know in chat your guys' predictions for the price and the release date. Chris encapsulated my thoughts right now so well. 28 minutes of people asking RogueGold questions he can't answer for 28 minutes. Pretty much. But I would love to see your guys' predictions in chat for the price point and the release date, or release window at least, for Battle for Brooklyn. I'm not going to react whatsoever to any of these, but I'm reading over what everyone is saying in chat. I'm new to the game. Has there ever been a Sam Fisher outfit in the store? Not in the store, but they did do a Splinter Cell outfit on one of the season passes a while ago. It might come back someday. I'm not sure, but it does exist. I don't know if it's Sam Fisher specifically, but I know it's Splinter Cell. I think maybe it is Sam Fisher. I don't fully remember, but it exists. All right. Everyone's putting their predictions in. Morton's got his prediction in. I'd be curious to, well, maybe I'll have to chat with you later, Morton. I'd be curious to know what plans did or didn't change from back when you were on the project. All right. Lots of predictions. I saw someone ranges from price and release date. I've seen someone say $10. I've seen someone say $40. I've seen someone say releases tomorrow. I've seen people say September. Okay. Well, hopefully we will find out in 25 minutes. I would assume that for a full showcase, they're going to give us those details. What's up, CD? Nope. You made it just in time. We got 25 minutes to go until go time or showtime. However you want to say it. We already have people arguing in the chat over the thing. Again, people, it's probably going to be revealed to us very soon. I was just curious to know people's thoughts there. Where did I miss it? Shen said off topic, but have you had the chance to play the Oblivion remaster? I've not, but I am intrigued to do so. I never played it back in the day, and I did like Skyrim, so I might very well try and dive into that at some point. All right, people have their predictions in. We'll see what does or doesn't come true. Matt Kane with the 10 gifted. Thank you, dude. Going to Rules, Fraser, Freezy, Armando, Marlowe, Rabid, Spastic, Six, Derek, and Last Man. Joining up to Rogue Studios, courtesy of Matt Kane. Matt, thank you as always, dude. If any of you 10 are here, please give him a thank you down in the chat. He said, from the ditch. I would love to see your setup right now. I want to know how you're doing that and watching. I assume you're audio only and your phone is like in your pocket or something. Either way, that's commitment, man. Thank you for digging a ditch, for watching the stream, and for gifting subs. What a legend. Thank you, dude. Notorious, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Kozik is in here as well. We got everybody, man. I need to check how many people are in the stream in a sec. Again, I can't see from my normal thing. GTD with the $10. Thank you, man. Did you get my last message about the Ravenous build? Yes. Also good to see you streaming again. I know, good to be back. I totally did mention that, but yeah, I've been out for like 2 weeks. Partly because last week I was in Sweden, so I was not able to stream on the usual slot, but it's been a busy month. I plan to get back to the normal schedule starting next week. I should be live on Tuesday again. And we'll keep it going from there. But yes, I did get your last message. I've been messing around with it in-game. Obviously, plans changed a little bit with the whole trip and everything, so TBD on if and when I'm going to get that around to that video. But I've been having, a lot of fun with the build. So 100%. All right, water break. Mr. Nobody is well with the $10. Happy Wednesday. Right back at you, dude. Thank you for the kindness and support. Oh, Lord, what is happening now? People. Here we go. Okay. GTD, Nobody, thank you so much for the 10. Then we have Postman coming in with 20 gifted. Absolute legend going to Dino, Vitor, Clyde, Keenan, Charlie, Smokin' Rabbit, Colin, Loss, Jay Dredd, Tums, Jomsy, Raziel, Lacquer, Litex. So many names. Data Rogue, Skelly, Ryo, Wolf, Abulia. I'm saying all these wrong. I'm so sorry. And Stellar. Those 20 people are from Postman. Thank you, dude. 20 more from Ure, which I can't even... Oh, here they are down here. Good Lord, folks. 20 more from Ure. Going to Camden, Samuel, Digital, Rob, Isaiah, Kate, Kyle, Razor, Xavier, Raymond, Kratos, Soap, Star, Exodus, Adam, Caraman, Toxic, Caleb, Hawkeye, BT, another 20. Thank you so much. And finally, 20 more from Lucas. On your birthday, dude, I need to find a way to be gifting you. Not the other way around, man. Thank you so much. Going to Charles, Archon, Ryan, Hamster, Akio, Raphael, Owl, Alan, Shady, Ace, Robert, Carolina, Austin, Reggie, VQ, Devin J, Cuban, Thomas, Michu. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. That's the last one. There we go. Good Lord. Back to back to back. 60 gifted subs from Postman, Ure, and Lucas. Thank you all so much for the kindness. That is insane. If any of you 60 people here who I just shouted out are here watching the stream, I would greatly appreciate you sending a thank you to those generous individuals in the chat. My goodness, folks. Thank you so much. I can barely keep up. That is too nice. All right, now that I can catch my breath. Frazier said, that's some serious Brooklyn hype right there. Love to see it. It seems like no matter what is happening, people in this community are always chomping at the bit to support, which is insane. I couldn't thank you all enough for the love that you show on a consistent basis. Luke said, thanks for the best Division community. I appreciate it, man. Michael M. coming back to the Division 2 after 2 years away. Welcome back. That's what's so cool, and I was going to point this out as well. On this initial reveal, I think this is the one that's gotten the most engagement, but even their post the other day, like, look at the likes these things are getting. Of course, and I say this every time, like, compared to Destiny or, like, these other huge games, like, it's not a comparison, right? But for Division standards, for a game that's this old, that's gotten such inconsistent support over the years, 12,000 people liked this initial Brooklyn reveal, had 1.1 million views. The recent one that they did just a few days ago got almost 700,000 views, 8,000 likes. I mean, what do you guys think the response to this thing is going to be in game? Regardless of how it's received, just the fact that it's coming out, that always generates interest for a game. Do you guys think we're going to see a real spike in people jumping in? Morton said they deserve a thanks no matter if you got a sub or not, helping Rogue produce great content. Thanks all. Thank you for that, Morton. That's very kind. And I mean, it's 100% true. Every single donation and whatever, like I always say, it's never expected. I never ask that of anybody. Just watching my stuff is more than enough. But those things all genuinely go towards helping me do this more consistently, do it in the long term. It's 100% true. So I appreciate it more than I can say. Just got back into the Division 2 thanks to you, Rogue. Haven't played since Woney released, then stopped. Been playing for a week now. Hawkeye, welcome back. And also, I hate you. I'm kidding. But you're lucky that you got to skip the 5 years in between Warlords and the new DLC that we're getting sometime this year. You lucky bastard. Welcome back, though. Happy to have you. Jason, love your channel and amazing community you have built, Rogue. Your videos got me back into Div 2 a few months back after not playing for a long time. Always excited to see a new vid from you. Thank you. People are too nice. Huge shout out to Rogue. My dad got me hooked on your content. What's up, Addy? Thank you for being here. GM23, could you send me a happy birthday? Happy birthday. Sorry, I'm trying not to scream into my mic. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hopefully this is a good way to kick it off with the reveal. And then more afterwards. But indeed, happy birthday, my friend. Clyde said, yes, I think it will be a big spike. The question will be how many stick around. 100%. I imagine some will, and that is good for the game. Yeah. I mean, that's what we've heard resoundingly over the past even 12 months. Well, we'll see at least since Seasons 2.0. People have come back. They've been like, wow, this game is still going. Wow, there's so much to do. At least from a new player perspective, there is so much to dive into. But the biggest issue the game has had is a lack of marketing and a lack of awareness. So if a release like a DLC gets the word out there, gets people in the door, that's just more opportunity for people to be like, wow, look at what I've been missing out on. And then they stick around. That's at least my thought of what could happen. We'll see. Jay with the 1 gifted membership going to Nerfed Hacks. Thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate that very much. And Nerfed already said thank you. Like a legend. Jay, appreciate the support a ton. Kinemitsu, I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologize. Just got into the Division 2, and you're definitely my favorite channel out of all the Division creators out there. Thank you so much. Yeah, Rob, there was like 60 gifted memberships a few minutes ago, so it was probably in there because people in this community are legends. By the way, I want to check how many people we've got right now. We've got over 1,000 people. Good Lord, folks. Thank you for being here. If you're watching, let me switch over to this view. We've got 15 minutes to go until the showcase begins. It is almost time. Oh, the game just posted something. Which view do I not care about anymore? We can do this one. Oh, new art. Join the premiere now. Look at this. This is new. Let's see, should we do a live reply? What should I do? I did It's Time yesterday. I can't do that again. I could do fire. No. That's the wrong kind of burn. Okay, who cares? But anyway, look at this. We got a cleaner here. Or 2 cleaners, looks like. Probably the Manhattan Bridge. I don't know if this is the Brooklyn Bridge, but one of the bridges. It's still time, indeed. Frank, what's going on, man? Good to see you. This is one of the few DLCs I've been excited for in any game for a long time. Looks sick from the pics. Always loved the Division games. Hell yeah, man. I mean, it's just almost regardless of what is in the DLC, It's just monumental that we're getting one. That they put out an expansion 5 years ago. They then essentially shut down the game. A few people were like, hey, what if we kept it going? They built a whole new team. People who had never worked on this engine or this game before. And here we are getting a DLC. Again, Yannick's already confirmed it's smaller than Warlords. Like, this isn't going to be the most sprawling thing we've ever seen in our lives. But what it represents is pretty cool. So. What if Massive makes more frequent, smaller DLCs? I mean, that's a big question I have for sure, is like, do they continue this pattern moving forward? It's taken them a long time to make this one, so I don't know if that is something we'll be able to expect, but we'll find out. I read that this DLC will be small in size. I hope not. All we know officially, David, is that it was confirmed by the creative director that it will be smaller than Warlords of New York. How exactly they define smaller, who knows? And whereas they classified Warlords as an expansion, this is being classified as a story DLC. So. Shen with the 1 month member message. Thank you, dude. You think they'll ever buff the Provocator? I'm sure maybe they would someday. I don't know how high of a priority it is, but I remember they did directly address that question on the last stream. So, it's always possible. Warlords is massive, though, no? So, I mean, Warlords, again, we don't know what he means by smaller, because as an expansion, it's not just the content that we got with Warlords. It was also the fact that it came with seasons, it came with a level cap increase, it came with a bunch of new exotics and brands and all that stuff. And then on the content side, there were 4 zones, 5 main missions. What was it between those zones? Like 8 control points, a bunch of stuff there. So how exactly they define larger or smaller in the context of a package like that, I don't know. But we will find out. Geo said my work productivity has ceased to exist. Welcome to the club. All right, how long do we got? 10 minutes exactly. We'll switch to this screen in just a minute. I figure we can just linger on these shots for a few minutes more. Let me start closing some of these tabs. The problem we had last time, well, not last time, but when we did a live stream of Division Day, I kept too many tabs open and it started playing audio over top. And at first I couldn't figure out what was happening. So that was kind of awkward. So I will not be making that mistake again. We just want this one. Yeah. It's almost time. Everyone who's asking me my thoughts on this or that, again, I, at this point in time, can't say too much. As I've said in some of my past few videos. Actually, I should pull that up. Just do this. Go to here. So, as a lot of you know, I was at Massive last week. Able to share that I'm currently in Sweden attending a studio tour for the Division 2. And so what I've been able to say is that the embargo for talking more about this trip ends as soon as the showcase is over in, well, whenever it ends after that starts. So save your questions until after that, and I'll be able to say a lot more. Yeah, Peter, to the best of my knowledge, it's just on YouTube. The premiere is just here. Over 3,000 people now waiting for it. The live chat's blowing up. GTD with the blah blah blah. I can talk. GTD with another 5. Thank you, dude. For the build isn't catching up. I'd be honored if you'd rename it. Honestly, my problem wasn't even the name itself. I was just like, can I fit that many words in my title of the video? Like I said, if and when I get around to doing that that community build, I might just shorten it up or find a little catchphrase. But I appreciate it, man. Again, thank you for the 5 and for the donation. You didn't have to. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is that true, Lucy? Do we have 1.3 thousand people in here? Again, my screen is different. I can't see the live count, but that's insane. Anyone who is watching right now, thank you so much. We are minutes away from the showcase. Limitless with the 10. Thank you, dude. They still owe us a Theo cutscene. Where is he? Maybe we'll find out. I don't know. But yeah, that was too bad that we didn't get that. Thank you, though, so much for the 10, man, and for the donation. On top of being a member, I appreciate it greatly. Just wanted to say thank you for getting me back into Division. Found your content randomly one day, been watching and playing again after a long break from it. Skips, you are more than welcome, my friend. Welcome back. Super happy to have you. Goodness me, people. We just had a flood of donations. Thank you so much. Again, I'm going to mispronounce all these names. Gugaius. I'm not even going to reattempt that one. But with the 5, thank you. Can casual players who have played since Div 1 Beta visit the massive studios if requested? Oh, I don't know. I don't believe so. I received an invitation along with some other people in the community. So it wasn't something I did on my own. They invited me there. But I'm sure you could reach out to Ubisoft's PR team and request or something like that. Zombie with the 2, thank you. Literally cleaning my weapon while listening. Jay with the 5, isn't there going to be Twitch drops after the release? If so, are you going to stream on there too? There are Twitch drops that are beginning in like 5 minutes. They're going to be live for the next several days. I am not going to be on Twitch though. That's not something that I currently do, but I might look into it in the future. GTT with another 5. Out of all the streamers, you actually respond to your fans, so I'm going to support that every time. Appreciate it, man. That's the reason I started the channel, so it's always something I try to do. If I ever fail to do that or stop doing it, I expect you all to call me out on it. Community engagement is always a top priority for me. Joe Brogan with the $2, man. Played from the beginning. Love the content, bro. Thank you so much. Again, I feel like I'm saying a bad word when I say your name, so I'm just going to say Gio, Zombie, J, GTD, and Joe. Thank you so much for the donations. I'm going to close these tabs, and we're going to get ready for the thing here. For the most part, I will probably just leave myself muted. I mean, we don't know how long this is going to be. Yeah, I don't know. For the most part, I'll probably be muted. Excuse me, if any donations or anything come through while it is happening, I will, of course, address them afterwards. But, yeah, once it gets going, guys, I will set the audio to what I think is the right level. If it is too loud, too quiet, whatever, just spam it in the chat, and I will address it. I'll be watching, and I'll address it on my end so that you all can properly hear what is being said. It is almost time. Black Ops Alpha said, if you're not watching RogueGold, hunters will be deployed to your location. Thank you, man. Frank with the 20. Too kind, dude. You did not have to do that. Thank you so much, man. I think I have an unanswered DM from you on Twitter. I'll have to go. The last few days have been crazy, frankly, so I'm probably behind on answering a lot of people. But thank you so much for that, man. You represent at least 1.4 thousand people here. That's insane. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Were there any German Division 2 YouTubers in Sweden with all of you? Not everybody who was invited was specifically a YouTuber. And so Isabel, who has been a member of the Division community since the beginning, she's German. She's a mod on the official Discord server. She does a bunch of stuff in the community. She was there. But yeah, not everybody was specifically content creators or YouTubers strictly, you know? Dazza, thank you so much. Good to see you. Dr. Luke in the house. What's up, man? Irzanu, thank you for being awesome. Trey with the 7 months. What's up, man? I'm late. You're right on time, dude. We got 2 minutes till this starts. But thank you for being a member for 7 months, man. I appreciate it greatly. Frazier, thank you. Oh, thank you very much, Gio. Again, I would not blame anybody for doing Twitch instead to get the drops. But again, they will be live for the next several days. All right, it is about to begin. Again, as soon as it is live, I will full screen. I will set the audio. If it's too loud, too quiet, let me know in the chat and I'll fix it. Again, I probably won't talk for most of it. But stay tuned afterwards because, again, that is when my embargo is over for the massive trip. I can talk a lot more about what I saw, what I did. So we're about to dive in, people. Thank you for watching this with me. I hope this timer doesn't end and then it gives us like an actual countdown on the screen. That would be awkward. We'll find out. Premiere will begin shortly. Let's see what happens. Waiting, waiting, waiting. I hope I don't have to refresh or anything. Maybe. Should I refresh? Everyone's like, how about now? Or now? Refresh. Oh, here we go. Oh, they give another timer. Okay. All right, we have another 5 minutes. I'll do 1440. I'm not going to do 4K because I don't want things to start lagging, but we'll set it at that. All right, sorry. No, that was a letdown, people. We have 5 minutes. The timer for the timer. Is this oh, it is a live image. You can see like the flames up here. Trees are moving a little bit. Nice. Oh, the watches are glowing. Livid's Twitch is about to blow up. Wait, why? Just because of this event, you mean? It's almost time. Oh my goodness. Bounty XP with the $50 donation. Thank you, my friend. Came back here. Sorry, let me turn this down while we're waiting. Came back to D2 after years and suddenly found my gear and tactics lacking. Player suggested your content after I watched his build wiping heroic content. Since then, he made D2 fun to play again, understandable, and worth the price of admission. Bounty, what a kind thing for you to say, and a generous move for you to donate $50. Thank you so much. I appreciate that greatly. I make stuff on this game for the love of it. I enjoy helping people trying to enjoy it more themselves, and so that'll go right back into hopefully continuing making that that goal and that dream come true. Again, thank you so much. That's so kind of you. What a great day, people. And the showcase hasn't even started yet. Leonardo, what's up? So hyped. How was the trip to Sweden? It was amazing. I'll be able to talk about it more as soon as the showcase is over, so ask me again in however long. Is there a stream on Twitch with Twitch drops? I believe the showcase itself is just happening here on YouTube, but Twitch drops are live for the next 5 days. So if you want to jump in, they're offering an exotic cache, named caches, and 2 different backpack trophies for watching people over on Twitch. Is this new music? I think it is. You should refresh. You're about 15 seconds late. Well, the problem, Zag, is that the stream is always going to be delayed, so watching it on your own computer versus here is going to be a bit quicker, but it's almost time. Matthew said, I still want to know if you're going to wear the hoodie jacket or if you're going to frame it and put it on your wall. I'm not going to wear it often. I might wear it occasionally, but for the most part, I intend to keep it as pristine as I can. It's insane that we got one. Just over a minute to go. That's insane that we have almost 2,000 people in here. Welcome in, folks. Thank you so much for watching. It is just about time to see the reveal for Battle for Brooklyn. Once again, I'm able to share a lot more about my trip to Massive recently as soon as the showcase is over, so stay tuned afterwards. We're going to have a lot to talk about and break down. It's going to be good. Mike, becoming a member of Rogue Studios. Thank you so much, my friend. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate it. All right, once again, I'm going to set the volume. Once it begins, please let me know if you need it louder or quieter. But it is just about time. I'm going to do it. Here we go. Ten, 9, 8. I'm not going to go the whole way. Here we go, folks. I'll see you on the other side.
Thanks for tuning in, and welcome to the Division 2 Showcase. We have a lot in store for you today, so let's go.
Year 6 has truly become a year of transformation where we've crafted an ever-evolving experience by making modifiers a core part of our seasonal framework.
With 3 distinct seasons throughout the year, each introduced significant changes to the endgame and our seasonal model.
As we look ahead to Year 7, we remain dedicated to pushing the game to new heights of accessibility for new players and engagement.
With only a few weeks remaining until the final climax mission of Year 6, let's take a sneak peek at what's in store for the upcoming Year 7.
Year 7 will focus on 3 main goals. With the constant influx of new players, improving and streamlining the onboarding process for new agents is more important than ever. We are also focused on adding more depth to the endgame, ensuring there is always something exciting to look forward to. Year 7 will solidify seasons as a cornerstone of the Division 2 experience. Our ambition is to increase the pace and situations, allowing for more regular updates and fresh experiences. Of course, seasons are not the only thing you can expect. During Year 7, we want to make the open world a more dynamic part of the endgame. For example, we're working on introducing an entirely new wrapper to open world activities that reacts to your actions while unlocking exotic blueprints farming to help you complete your arsenal. We're also focusing on the economy. More specifically, we have a package of revamps that will add more depth to the endgame progression, giving you more control over tinkering and item customization.
We aim to make Year 7 Seasons a truly holistic experience by realigning the modifiers, gear, and gameplay with the narrative elements of the seasons, including the Manhunt and Climax.
Additionally, we want to leave room for your feedback. As we run a live game, we do our best to stay attuned to your needs and remain flexible to try to align our vision with your expectations.
We'll be sharing more updates over the course of the year, so you can look forward to more news and announcements each season.
In Year 7, you can look forward to a variety of in-game events, including XP multipliers as well as seasonal projects.
Additionally, exciting new features such as weapon stats and resource boost will be introduced.
Year 6 introduced one of the most anticipated quality of life updates, the stash space increase.
In Year 7, we'll continue expanding stash space along with the Battle for Brooklyn DLC.
Talking about the DLC, today we are thrilled to bring you an in-depth look at Battle for Brooklyn. Battle for Brooklyn expands the Division franchise with a gripping new story. Whether you're a veteran eager to dive deeper into the narrative or completely new to the franchise, the DLC has something for everyone. For the first time, players can explore post-pandemic New York in the fall, navigating iconic Brooklyn neighborhoods. You can tackle the new challenges solo or in co-op, making this DLC exciting for everyone. Let's take a look at what awaits agents in Brooklyn.
Battle for Brooklyn is set in the faithfully recreated Brooklyn neighborhoods of Brooklyn Heights and Dumbo, including some familiar areas for the Division 1 players, as well as some new areas never explored in the franchise.
Main missions take place off-site to allow for a greater bespoke story experience on your first playthrough.
And the traditional side missions are replaced by replayable missions you can access from the open world.
To experience everything that Battle for Brooklyn has to offer, it will take approximately 6 to 10 hours, especially if you want to discover all the activities we have prepared for you, including 4 control points, 12 living world activities, 10 bounty locations, 8 hunter readers, and a new set of collectible bounties.
We're going back to Brooklyn because sometimes you need to go back to where you started to see how far you've come. A lot's happened in Brooklyn since the prologue of Division 1. People have moved over, trying to escape the chaos of Manhattan, and they're looking to build a new life, make a change. Coming to Brooklyn in the fall is absolutely significant to our story. It helps us show the passage of time and our characters' and players' evolution as we approach the 1-year anniversary of activation.
To bring autumn to the Division 2, we had to investigate firstly the vegetation and the weather. Via the foliage, we are dressing the city in warm autumn colors. For the weather, we have crafted something specific to Brooklyn. We went for a mix of warm weather with golden light and, of course, something moodier to try to capture the autumnal contrasts. For Washington Street, the iconic starting area in the Division 1 overlooking Manhattan Bridge, we wanted it to still feel familiar to the players, but also really show at a glance how time has passed and hint to what might have happened in the meantime.
The bridge is the heart of Brooklyn, and the people there have pooled talent and resources that our hostile factions would like to acquire. There, you'll be tasked with protecting the people who built the settlement. Some of the characters you'll meet at the bridge throughout the campaign are familiar faces like Theo Parnell and Dr. Candle, and a brand new face that we've really only heard her voice, Agent Hoskins.
When taking Candle from Division 1 to Division 2, we wanted to show that some time has passed. She's still wearing her same old ID badge, but it's now more worn and has some wear to it. And my colleague Marie's ID badge here at Massive actually proved as a perfect reference for this because it has seen some better days. When designing Melanie Hoskins, we wanted to make sure that you can recognize some of her backstory and her character design. So we gave her a very cute bracelet that says Mom, that she wears, that were made by her 4-year-old son, Freddie. And throughout Brooklyn, we've hidden all these character backstories in their character designs.
The settlement evolves throughout the campaign in multiple stages. What we wanted to capture here is the feeling of community coming together, building and protecting themselves. Brooklyn was hit by the hurricane alongside Manhattan, only here things happened a bit differently. For some areas, the people in Brooklyn have come together to protect the shoreline from the hurricane, so its impact on the city has not been the same as in Manhattan. Moreover, the community has also started cleaning up after the storm. People in Brooklyn strive to rebuild their lives. They are looking into covering their base necessities in terms of food and water, so they are using the available space inside the city to do so, including the rooftops.
In the DLC, players will actually be facing an enemy that they are usually used to, or that they have been fighting already, and that's the cleaners. But there's a special twist on those cleaners, because they actually have a new weapon, which is what we call the Purple Flame. People might be familiar with the idea of the Purple Flame. Those who have played the Incursion, the Mirror Estate, they might have seen that already. This is something we introduced back then. But in this DLC, in Battle for Brooklyn, the cleaners have been able to find ways to mass produce this weapon, and this is really their main way of bringing destruction. This is how they've launched the assault on Brooklyn now, using that new weapon to really try to erase Brooklyn from the map. So as an agent, you have to go there, not just face the cleaners as you know them, but face the cleaners with that extra level of threat and of danger because of the Purple Flame. In-game, what this means, basically, is there is a new effect that is added to the usual fire effect you would get from the cleaners. Every time you face a cleaner that uses Purple Flame, you're not only going to be set on fire, but we're also adding a corrosion effect. And this corrosion, what it does is it's basically reducing your max armor. So the longer you engage in a fight against cleaners with Purple Flame, the lower your armor gets. And even if you use armor kits, even if you try to heal, you're only going to be able to go as high as what your new maximum is. And that maximum keeps decreasing the longer you fight them. And of course, this is part of our story. This is part of why the cleaners are coming to Brooklyn, or why you need to go there and stop them, because it's an unusual threat. It's something that even the civilians in Brooklyn are not used to. We are going to have to find out how did they produce it, where are they producing it, and how did they get all the supplies they need to actually be able to mass produce this new weapon.
No Division story would be complete without the hunters. In Brooklyn, we have 8 new riddles and 8 masks that you can unlock, if you're willing to take on the challenge.
For the Brooklyn Hunters, we wanted their uniforms to actually match their mask designs a bit more than they usually do, and that will also echo into the game design of the puzzles that unlocks them. We wanted to create a cohesive theme while maintaining the amazing classic hunter look.
Control points are a big part of the open world. With Brooklyn, we've taken them one step further. Based on faction ownership, players can expect a different challenge every time they encounter the same control points. Each hostile faction has its own unique ingredients. The cleaners have the Purple Flame, while the Rikers also have some surprises up their sleeve. Players can expect to encounter those new ingredients in every control point in Brooklyn. For players wanting a bigger challenge, increasing the global difficulty will also have an impact on the amount of ingredients that they encounter in the control points. Smart Cover returns in Battle for Brooklyn as a reimagined skill for PvE and PvP. Using the Smart Cover will reinforce cover, grant buffs to offense and defense, and enhance pulse resistance for all allies.
Players can choose between 2 variants, the Precision Smart Cover and the Fortified Smart Cover. Both variants have some stats tuned differently for PvP.
In the DLC, we have a new exotic mask called the Catalyst, and it's actually perfect against the cleaners, as it gives bonus for dealing and receiving status effect damage. So while burning, you can maintain ADS without disruption. When doing the effect for the Catalyst, we wanted to invoke the feeling of a dying fire. So when you move, the air stokes the fires, causing the mask to flare up more and more the faster you go. But when you stop, the fire slowly dies and only smoke remains.
Battle for Brooklyn launches on May 27, 2025. The DLC will be available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. For those of you who already own The Division 2, Battle for Brooklyn will be available as a standalone product for €14.99. The Battle for Brooklyn Deluxe DLC will also be available, including exclusive cosmetics. You can visit Ubisoft Store to see the options and wishlist the DLC. If you have friends who don't own the game yet, let them know that the DLC will also be available for new players in our new Gold Edition and Ultimate Edition, giving them immediate access to the main game, Warlords of New York expansion, and the Battle for Brooklyn DLC in May. No matter through which edition you decide to get the DLC, it comes with a level 40 boost, allowing you to jump right into the Battle for Brooklyn campaign, and 50 stash space slots, also accessible in the main game.
Working on the Division 2 DLC was an exciting challenge for us.
We're thrilled to be bringing players back to New York, and we can't wait for you to play the Battle for Brooklyn DLC.
Thank you for watching. Now, let's go where it all began. And don't forget to mark your calendars. The rendezvous is planned for May 27th. See you in Brooklyn, agents.
There you go, folks. All right. I just posted a video that, even though we're going to talk about it here, I hope you will go and watch later. I got to play Battle for Brooklyn at Massive. So let me just check that this video went live properly. It did. All right, cool. So let's talk about it. I can pretty much talk about everything I played, which I will break down what that is. By the way, I just want to shout out that... Oh, I'm so far up here. Terry with the 10 gifted while we were live. They're watching that. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it greatly. GTD with another $5 donation. Thank you so much. How do you feel about melee weapons given to players? I would love it, but it's not something they're currently doing. Okay, so initial thoughts, people. Hold on. Whoa. Where I want to find where they had the map so I can more greatly explain what's going on here. Perfect. Trey with another 1 gifted. Thank you so much. Steph with a $25 donation. You are amazing. Thank you. You are amazing. Appreciate it greatly. All right, this is the map right here. So, Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge. The general content of the DLC is 3 main missions, which are off-site, and then they're renaming side missions to world missions. As you can see, there's 4 of them. They're now replayable, so you can go and do them as many times as you want. Why nothing for PvP? They need to make an area. I mean, obviously, I would have loved if there was a Dark Zone included with this, but they said from the start 2 years ago that this is a story DLC. So I tried to temper people's expectations because I didn't think we would really see that. But yeah, there's no game mode here. There's no Dark Zone. It's a story DLC, like they've said from the beginning. So many things coming in. I can hardly keep up here. Mr. Fancy Pants with the 5. Thank you so much. Is the DLC releasing before the end of this season? No, it comes out on May 27th, which is the launch date of Year 7 Season 1. Thank you for that. Joe Brogan with the 2. The day I get back from Cabo. Perfect. There you go. Thank you so much for the 2. Hermes, what's up, man, with the 17 months. If you're able to speak on it, did you get to use the smart cover skill when you played it? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I did. It's incredibly strong. We'll talk about that in just a sec. So this is here. Okay, we're going to be jumping around a lot, okay? Don't worry. We will answer all the questions. But where was the smart cover part? Right here. So there's 2 variants. There's a defensive and an offensive. Can I get it to pause on that? The precision variant is what I used in the demo. It's cracked. Damage to targets out of cover is what you get for it. And this is what tier... I'm not sure what tier this is, but at like tier 6, you get 45% damage to targets out of cover. It's pretty wild. And it auto reloads when you swap weapons while you have the buff active. So this, I think, is going to be insanely good. I didn't get to use the fortified one as much. If we'll switch to that. That gives you bonus armor, explosive resist, pulse resist, and stagger immunity. So yeah, I didn't get to use this one a ton, but especially the pulse resist could be pretty good in PvP. Gio with the $2 again, thank you so much. Is mastery difficulty available for expansion missions? No. To the best of my knowledge, that's just staying to the climax missions each season. That's the main deal. All right, sorry, I'm trying to check so many things across so many screens right now. So again, this is coming out in less than 5 weeks on May 27th, and it's $15. That's what they confirmed there at the end. But this is the total map. If you're wondering how big the Division 1's tutorial area is, when we were there, they showed us an overlay of it. It was roughly, and this is just an estimation, something like that. like this area here was the Division 1's tutorial area. So we get a bit of an expansion this way, and we get the rest of this for the Dumbo zone, and then all of Brooklyn Heights is entirely new. So Settlement in the middle, there's one safe room per zone. Again, 3 main missions, which are off-site, 4 world missions, which is the renaming for side missions, because these are now fully replayable. Is it going to be level 50? No, there is no level increase. How many control points? There's 4 total, 2 per zone. 2 in Brooklyn Heights, 2 in Dumbo. Hermes with the 20 gifted, man. Thank you so much. I'm not going to shout out every single person's name just because I'm trying to sift through all the questions coming in, but thank you so much. 20 people, welcome to Rogue Studios, courtesy of Hermes. If you're here, please drop him a thank you for the kindness. Where can I buy the DLC? I don't see it. I have no idea. I assume pre-orders will go up at some point, but given they revealed it approximately 3 minutes ago, it might take them a minute. Leonardo said, I mean, for what we're getting, 15 is not bad. It's bigger than I thought. If you remember the Agent Origins, I believe Brooklyn Heights was featured there too. Oh, I didn't remember that. But yeah, I mean, for the amount of stuff we're getting, I feel like 15 is pretty fair. 3 main missions. We got to play one of them in the demo, which again, we'll talk about. 4 world missions, all this stuff. 8 hunter riddles in the world. There's 16 world bosses. So like, this is going to be, it is pretty small, relatively speaking. I don't know, maybe half or a third of the Warlords map, but it's densely packed. I can tell you that from the time that I ran around in there. Somebody asked a question, did they say the boost comes to... Yes, so buying the DLC does get you a level 40 boost for new players, or if you want to start a new character and go to there. Smart cover sounds like it would pair very well with Umbra. Did you get a chance to play with different builds, or did they just give you an account and let you go wild? Yeah, they just gave us a fresh level 40 character, so like shade level 0 and half purple gear. So I can't talk a ton about the difficulty because we were mostly just contending with getting stuff as we were going through. But yeah. Comrade said I definitely had too high of hopes. I mean, it's tough, right? Because obviously we want tons and tons of content for this game. And we've been waiting a long time. Like we went over the start of the stream, they announced it 2 years ago. The one thing that we have to remember is that they never really promised more than this. They said all along it's going to be smaller than Warlords. It's a story DLC specifically. But of course, people always want more. So we're anticipating more. That anticipation grows the longer it's delayed and all of that. But for $15, this is what you get. Hermes with the 5. Love the bringing back Dr. Candle. Looking forward to seeing her in Keener's dynamic. 100%. The dialogue and the characters and everything is integrated really well. The campaign through this is linear. So unlike prior Division experiences where you can choose like what you go and do in what order, you get there and it's telling you where to go and what to do the whole time, which makes for a bit more of a cohesive narrative in my opinion, at least what I was able to see. Mike Norris with the $10. Thank you so much, my friend. Are all side missions being turned into world missions? If you mean like in the rest of the game, Captain, I don't believe so, but I didn't specifically ask that question. All I know is that the ones in Brooklyn are called world missions and you can replay. Libertarian, you do not. I did ask that question. It's not going to be connected to the Warlords map in that way. So this is the map. Someone was asking about the exotic mask, and I would actually like to peek at that myself because I did not... That was not available to us, so I don't actually have a ton of info on that one. But they do show the full talent right here. So there is going to be a new mask that's exclusive to Brooklyn, or you have to own it to, I guess, unlock it for the first time. Chemical Agent. Dealing and receiving status effects. Burn, bleed, shocking, blah, blah, blah. Build stacks of catalyst to a maximum of 12. Each stack grants weapon damage and status effects. So that's kind of like Catharsis. Each enemy within 25 meters that is affected by a status effect grants 1 stack per second. Being affected by status effects grants 2 per second. Stacks decay at 1 after 5 if no enemies in the radius or if you're not affected. At max stacks, killing a status affected enemy grants bonuses for 5 seconds. There's even more to it that we can't see down there. So this is going to be available from the DLC. Again, you get that, you get smart cover, and the other stuff. When does the DLC come out? It comes out in just about 1 month on May 27th. That's the big news that they just dropped. That is when Year 7 is going to begin. Tropic Thunder said, hey, Rogue, I don't believe you mentioned in your video, what is the expertise buff upgrade for the new skill? That is a good question. I'm not sure. Again, we were not able to really look at too much of that stuff because we had like fresh level 40 characters in the demo I played. So I don't actually know, unfortunately. James, my goodness, with the $50 donation, awesome content. Thank you for your passion. James, thank you so much for that, my friend. That is incredibly kind. Sorry, there's so much happening. I'm trying to deal with it all. James, thank you, thank you, thank you. What did somebody just ask about? Stash space. You do get 50 additional stash space slots for owning Brooklyn. You get that and a level 40 boost alongside the physical content of the DLC itself. So if I go back to the map, I forget where it was. So in the demo here, essentially what happened is that we got 2 hours to play this while we were a massive. And we started with a fresh level 40 character from the beginning. So we saw the intro sequence to Brooklyn. That took us to the settlement here. We then got to play, we could do whatever we wanted, but what we had access to was the Dumbo zone here. We got to do these 2 world missions and this first main mission. These 2 missions, Brooklyn Heights, these missions, all that stuff was not part of the demo. My highlight out of that time was absolutely the mission. I thought it was a lot of fun. And again, I just dropped the video that I recommend you all check out at some point if you have the time. I go into a lot of detail about the specifics of that, about what my thoughts were, my feedback, all that stuff. Hey, RogueGold, the guy in the video had level 50, so will there be a level increase? There is not. What part of it was he level 50? I'd be curious to go and see that, because that's not something I'm aware of in any way. Cedric with the $4.99, thank you, man. Hope the Lexington makes a comeback. They have said they plan to bring it back, so we will see. Thank you so much for that, though. What difficulty did you guys play on? We had access to do it on whatever we wanted, but again, because we had fresh level 40 characters with no builds, it was kind of tough to scale it up. I think a few of us tried heroic, and it was just not working. So I played the world missions and the main mission on hard, and I did the open world on challenging. I did tackle one of the control points. We can talk about that in a bit because they're making some changes there. 642, you'll see level 44. Oh god, now I'm confusing myself. This is timed out differently because of the premiere. Okay, anyway. Did they mention anything about the roadmap beyond Brooklyn? Is this it? That was the first few minutes they talked about Year 7. They didn't give a definitive roadmap, and I can't really talk more about that, but there is more detail than what they're saying here. But they said they're going to improve onboarding to the game for new players. They're going to do a package of revamps to things. I'll have to go through and look at the wording they use there. And they're going to increase the variety and depth of the open world for endgame stuff, was kind of what they mentioned. But there is no definitive roadmap. Like, they didn't give a printed roadmap for Year 7, but there is a full content of Year 7 coming. So yeah, Elliot, the first few minutes were dedicated to that, but again, they didn't like print a definitive roadmap for Year 7 today. Dristan, welcome to Rogue Studios, my friend. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. Happy to have you. So is there a lot you can't share? Airline, pretty much anything about Brooklyn I can talk about. Anything about Year 7, not so much. But any questions you have about the DLC in Brooklyn, I can pretty much share everything I know and what I played. Is the DLC coming with new gear brands more than just one exotic, or will that be part of the seasonal content? Bleach, to my knowledge, just the Catalyst mask and the Smart Cover skill are specifically tied to ownership of Brooklyn, but there is going to be Year 7 Season 1 launches alongside this on May 27th, and that brings all of the usual Battle Pass stuff and all of that. I actually didn't see any of that. I have no idea what that's going to contain, but that stuff is all coming alongside the launch of this on May 27th. What's the difference between world missions and main missions? Main missions are the standard, like, main missions that you know of. World missions are the new name for side missions, but they're now replayable. So you can scale them up to heroic. You can run them as many times as you want. Zombie with a 2, thank you. If the DLC gives a 40 boost, can you spam materials? They did say they're going to fix that. So the 40 boost will exist, but to my knowledge, you will no longer be able to just make a new character and get the watch bonuses over again. Wayne, during your visit, was there any mention of Div 2 lifespan after Year 7? Did they discuss a timetable for Div 3? Division 3 was not a part of what we did whatsoever. The event and everything was entirely focused on Division 2, Brooklyn, and Year 7. Were there any sewers you got to go into or subways like the Division 1? Anything more interesting than the sewers in DC? What I can say is that pretty much every, like, the verticality and the amount of interactable, like, secrets in this map is crazy. That's what everybody's reaction was that even though it's a relatively small map, the density of things to do is crazy. Like, as soon as I left the settlement, I was heading for this world mission right here. I got maybe half a block, and I caught my eye something up on a rooftop. I went up there. There was like a body to loot for a key. There was a puzzle going on that rooftop that I didn't have time to figure out. There was a bunch of alleys with locks and all that stuff. So what's the word I'm looking for? Interactability. That's not proper English, but the amount of things there are to interact with and do in the world is very dense for sure. Map looks kind of small compared to New York map, or am I wrong? No, that's correct. And they said that from the start, was that it was going to be smaller than Warlords. So again, the Division 1 tutorial zone, if you can think back to that area, was roughly like this. So this slice was Division 1 tutorial. And so we get to go back to that location. Dumbo fills out the rest of this area, and then all of Brooklyn Heights is new stuff. My estimation from when we saw the overlay was that the Division 1 tutorial zone was like 30 to 35% of this total area. So you can fill that out in your mind. They're good at packing a lot of searchable, interactive things in a small area, 100%. And like they said, there are 8 new Hunter Riddles. So even though the map is way smaller than Warlords, they're doing the exact same number of Hunter Riddles in this DLC. There are going to be 8 new hunters to track down, get the masks for. There's still 16 world bosses packed in here. 10 bounty locations is what they said. And then, of course, all that stuff. I saw someone talking about before the fact that the main missions are not on the map. Initially, I had the same reaction where I was like, I don't love that idea, but at least from the one we played, which again was just this one, which is called H5 Refinery, I actually liked it a lot more because it means that they can make the map area and the overall atmosphere and everything a lot more bespoke and unique because it's not tied to the world limits that they're setting. Like when we went here, the atmosphere was super dark and gloomy. You jump out on the shore. There's a bunch of, you can look behind you and see different houses and neighborhoods of Brooklyn, and then you head in and it's its whole own area. So it is disconnected, but in my opinion, that made for a more immersive mission, if that makes sense. I was behind 3 minutes, but went to go check the Ubisoft stream at 6:40. Okay, everyone keeps talking about this level 44. 6:42, I assume from when it started. So from 11:36, 17, like 18:20 or something. Oh, this is so confusing because the time is going in reverse. Oh, this right here, that's shade level. You can see it keeps putting my thing there. That symbol is your shade level right there. So this person is shade level 44. Their max level of character level 40. So RogueGold, tell us, did it exceed your expectations or were you underwhelmed? Honestly, it was pretty close to what I was thinking. I said, and you can go back and listen to my videos, I was not expecting there to be a new game mode or a new Dark Zone because they were very clear about how this was smaller than Warlords and how it was a story DLC. So I think, let's see if I go back to the map, I think I predicted 3 zones and 4 missions. So each of those came in 1 under, but I did not expect there to be a new skill or for there to be 8 new hunter riddles in here. So all in all, it was about what I was expecting. But from what I played, again, that 2-hour demo that we had, the quality was really there. Like, I thought it was a really solid experience that they've created so far. Someone was asking about the tutorial thing or the intro sequence. You do get to, they do send you on a gauntlet of like Division 1's nostalgia. You start out in like an underground area, and then you come up in a manhole right around here, or maybe here somewhere, and you see the same shot from the beginning of the Division 1. You then go and storm the police building from the Division 1 tutorial. So the nostalgia is there. I thought the open world was really solid from what I saw of it. The mission was probably my highlight. H5 Refinery is super fun. So where's the PvP at? The PvP unfortunately went out the door with Heartland last year because Red Storm was the Division's PvP team and they got reassigned. So unfortunately, I don't know how much more PvP stuff we're going to get in Division 2, as much as I would love it. Will we be able to replay the hunters? I don't know. However the ones work in DC and New York, I assume is the same way it will work in this. Hermes with the 5. Thank you, dude. Any look at new skill vanity mods while you were in Sweden? Skill vanity mods? No. We just looked at the new smart cover. We got to use it in our demo. How did you get an invite to the studios in Sweden? I received an email that said, would you like to come for this event? And I said yes. It was a really cool opportunity. I mean, it's insane that I've been doing this for 5 years and we've come as far as we have, and something like that is even possible. It was crazy. where the mission is longer than your average missions. About the, like, I would say the main mission and the side missions were about the same as you can expect from either of the other Division maps, DC or New York. This one definitely lived up to the Warlords main missions, I would say, in terms of like scale and set pieces and all that stuff, at least in my opinion. It was really good. A lot of the devs that were there that we talked to, like there were some people from the Bucharest team, who is the main workforce that goes into making stuff these days. They were talking a lot about the final mission, saying that like their sole job has been working on the final main mission and that they're really excited for it. I don't know which of these two that is. Again, we had no access to that stuff, but I know they're really excited about the last main mission. A lot of them are really excited about the Hunter riddles. They were like, can't wait for people to figure out some of that stuff. What about the starting apartment? Is it still there? Do you mean the safe house that the Division 1's tutorial zone had? Because I was told, I didn't get to go up to this area and look for myself, but Splinter, who was at the event, I'm sure many of you know him from Twitter and Twitch and all that stuff, he apparently went in there, and you can go into that same apartment, or yeah, like apartment safe house that Division 1's tutorial zone had. Change the scene. I don't know. What do you want to see? I'll put whatever. The video that I put up on my channel, which again, I know we're going over much of the same info here, but if you want to check it out later, I would appreciate it. There's a bunch of B-roll that they gave me that's in that video if you want to see some gameplay. That's all included in there. John with the 4.99, thank you so much. They didn't even include downtown Brooklyn. I've never been to Brooklyn, so I don't know. Well, that's not true. I did go there for like 5 minutes the one time I was in New York City years ago. I don't know what is actually considered downtown Brooklyn, but that is the map. Thank you very much for the 5, though. Carl with the 50, and I'm not sure what currency that is, but thank you so much. Go to 511 in the showcase video. Look in Hoskins' right hand. Will that Glock 18C finally be available to players? 511. Again, I wish this wasn't laid out like this. Hoskins. She was around here, right? By the way, Connie here works on the art team. Super nice guy. Got to talk to him for a little bit.
Make sure that you can recognize some of her backstory and her character design. So we gave.
Is this the frame or is this the wrong one? Hermes with another 10. Thank you, man. God, so much generosity today. Whoops. I'm clicking things that I didn't mean to click. So is it confirmed that it's only 3 main missions, or is there a 4th final one hidden until you unlock it, like how Liberty Island was kept hidden until the end? To the best of my knowledge, it's just 3 missions. But if they pull out a surprise 4th one, I wouldn't know about it. I don't know. Did you meet Julian Garrity while at Massive? He was on vacation. So no, I did not meet him. A couple of seconds earlier.
Familiar faces like Theo Parnell and Dr. Candle, and a brand new face that we've really only heard her voice, Agent Hoskins.
Oh, I see. This? I don't know. That is not something that we were told about or saw, but I have no idea if we'll be able to get that or not. Wayne said, what did you not see? What are you disappointed about? My biggest disappointments, and I say in the video, for one, that it's not directly, like the story of this, at least the premise is not directly tied to the Keener, Natalia, Calvin McManus storyline. That was one of my biggest like disappointments and pieces of shock, like heading into the presentation that we got. At the baseline, this is about the bridge settlement and the cleaners invading Brooklyn. There is some stuff that is going to tie into that. I'm not going to spoil it. I saw some stuff while we played, but that gets into story spoilers, and they hinted that there might be more tie-ins later on in the campaign. But the fact that it's not like directly about that conflict was definitely a bit disappointing. I was a little bit let down with the boss depth in the main mission, even though I thought the main mission was really fantastic in terms of its visual design, just everything about it overall. The one area that I was not stoked about was the bosses felt a little bit flat, even though the structure was there for there to be some pretty good mechanics on there. So again, maybe they'll fix that. What we were told while we were there is that the DLC was content complete at the time of us doing our demo. And so then the following weeks are all about polish and bug fixes and all that. Did they say anything about the new skill? Yes, the new skill is Smart Cover. It is very good, at least from when I tried it. There are two variants. You have Fortified and Precision.
Players can choose between two variants. The Precision Smart Cover.
This is the one that I used. It gives you damage to targets out of cover. It auto-reloads your weapons. It's super good. I think this is going to be a really good new skill. Nick said, are the other YouTubers cool in person? Everybody that I interacted with on the trip was a delight. Like, sincerely. The developers, the people invited, it was an amazing time. 100%. So this is the offensive variant of Smart Cover. And then they switched to the Fortified one, which gives you stagger immunity, bonus armor, and then stacking amounts of explosive and pulse resistance. So this for PvP could be quite good, because you could spec into pulse resistance without having to have it on your build, because you get 50% from the specialization. I would assume you need tier 5 of this maybe, or I don't know how much, but that could potentially be good. Minam, hope I'm saying that correctly. It is not free. It is $15. And then there's a deluxe version, I believe, for $25, but I believe that just comes with cosmetic stuff and vanity. Can you drop it or add your feed one solo like the healer version? I believe they show it right here. You don't necessarily drop it at your feet, but you kind of stick it to the cover you're on, like, because it's an actual proxy that could potentially be shot. Does he do it here? Yeah, so you see that? That's the animation. Let's slow this down. So you can do that. If you're standing out of cover, I don't 100% remember what happens when you're standing out of cover. Postman said I stepped away for 20 minutes. Did I miss anything? Not too much. Could you please confirm for us that there are no more watch mules? All I know, like, that wasn't an official part of the presentation. All I know is that as soon as they said there's going to be a level 40 boost, someone was like, so does that mean you can just create someone at level 40 and get all the resources now? And their words were, we intend on fixing that. So that's their intention. It was not, obviously, that's not something they're advertising in this showcase, so I can't say with 100% certainty that that will go through, but their intention was to fix the watch mule thing so that you couldn't do it with the level 40 boost. What did they change about control points? Great question. Let's go to that part, because that was one thing that I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised by, although I do wish it had a few things working differently. What part was that at? Where did they talk about control points? I feel like it was towards the end. Oh, I should probably fix this.
When doing the effect for the catalyst,
the DLC will be available on PC Traction. This is how they've launched the assault.
Okay, so this is one of the control points. This is actually the one that I did while I played. Two new things about control points. One, whichever faction is controlling it, it's going to have a few different dressings visually. I don't know if I could point out exactly what those are here, but like this fire barrel has the cleaner logo on it. This turret has the cleaner logo on it. These would change if it was the Rikers who have it. The other part is that then there are new fortifications for control points. So this, for example, is an example of that.
On Brooklyn now, using that new weapon.
So the cleaners get like the flame.
Erase Brooklyn from the map.
Yeah, you can see it shooting. They get like a flame turret that shoots you. The Rikers get a rocket one. I faced the rocket one, and I kind of got messed up pretty quickly. There was a clip of it at some point, but I don't know.
Used to.
The Division 1 players,
remember
as well
where it
as
went.
some new areas never
To leave room for your feedback. As we run a live game, 7 will continue.
New York
Are
happened a bit differently. For some areas, the people
effects. And this corrosion.
story would be complete without the
Big part of Brooklyn.
Oh,
as a
there it was.
Brooklyn, we've taken them one step further. Based on faction ownership, players can expect a different challenge every time they encounter the same control points. Each hostile faction has its own unique ingredients. The cleaners have the purple flame,
So this is the cleaners version of that.
while the Rikers also have some surprises up their
And
sleeve.
this is the Riker one you can see right there. It shoots rockets out at you. So these fortifications show up depending on what tier your control point is. So if you played at tier 1 on normal difficulty, it might not have this rocket or other stuff. But at tier 4, it would have the rocket. There's also shock panels that show up. I ran into that where I would like climb up this right here and there's a shock panel waiting for you. So you get caught in a trap there and then the rocket shoots you. You can disable them from what you can see. This one has the yellow wire, so you just follow the yellow wire to wherever the box is and shoot it to disable it. That's the one, like, I like the implementation of these. The one part that I didn't love was that you can follow the wire, shoot it, and that location remains static. So on repeat runs, you're going to know exactly where the thing is, but it's still an extra little layer to that. That's cool. How do you repair your armor back to full after getting hit by the purple flame? It's a great question, Lucas. I wish I could tell you. I read the tutorial while I was playing, but I did not retain the information. There was so much happening that was one detail that I did not remember. There is a way to repair it, like it's not a permanent debuff to you. But I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what it was. Were you asked to provide feedback or suggestions for the changes? That was the majority of what our trip was. We sat in multi-hour workshops to give her ideas, to have direct communication, to hear about why they made certain changes, why they couldn't make other certain changes, give our feedback, discuss. Many, many hours were spent at Massive in these workshops talking about this stuff. I thought way before the DLC announcement, they announced a new armor piece or something, didn't they? Rogue, didn't you make a video about it at some point? If you're talking about the new item type options, it was pretty much debunked a while ago that was the passive seasonal modifiers, because they said it was going to be a new item type that could slot into your build that you could farm. And when Seasons 2.0 launched, those were tied to priority objectives, and you could farm them. So that is what they were talking about way back in the day with the new item type. Two years of wait for 6 hours of gameplay. For less than 100 people working on a game of this size, that's about what it takes. You know? Warlords had the luxury of being made with, like, I don't know what it was, somewhere between like 600 and 800 people, I think. I don't want to misspeak there, but it had a significantly larger team size than the one that's making this DLC. I'm sure you've already answered this, but do you know the price? Yes, they showed it off at the end.
For €14.99.
It is $15, and it comes out on May 27th. This is interesting here. You can read the text at the bottom. Battle for Brooklyn content will be made available throughout Year 7. So they might add more stuff to it. I know nothing about that. They didn't talk about that at all, but Let's see, did they release an article? They did. That's just the Twitch drops. Okay, I just wanted to check. Oh, you can see what the backpack trophies are if you want to take part in that. Okay, it's just the showcase that we already looked at. Hopefully the devs just meant that they won't allow for instant watch mule due to level 40 boost. Yeah, I don't know. I have no details there, and I don't want to confirm anything or speak out of hand. All they said was that when somebody asked about the level 40 boost, they said they intended to fix that interaction.
Something.
What happened to the original dev team? They were moved off to Avatar and Star Wars Outlaws, and a lot of them are now back working on the Division 3. But in the meantime, they had to build an all-new team at a different studio with people who had never worked on this game or code before, which created a lot of challenges and obstacles that had to be overcome. So this is the biggest thing that they've attempted with that newer, smaller, less experienced team.
Looking Manhattan Bridge. We wanted it to still feel familiar to the players, but also...
What else, folks? We're going on 2 hours now. Does anyone have any other questions? Again, I will shout out that I just put out this... We're just getting crazy views. I put out this video with B-roll and everything from there, so if you want to check that out later, you certainly can. I go into some more detail on that with some of my thoughts and all that stuff. I would appreciate it, but what else? Do we have more questions while I'm live here? Why doesn't our agent have a shoulder flashlight? I have no idea. You see anything Div 3 related? The event was completely and totally Division 2 focused, Brooklyn in Year 7. Any changes to gear and mods that you got to play with? No. The full scope of the demo that we got to play was Brooklyn with fresh level 40 characters. So, like, Brooklyn's content and smart cover was like the main stuff that we got to experience that was new. And keep in mind, like we were saying earlier, they intentionally did not give us like a definitive Year 7 roadmap with this video, so that's still to come. Like there's going to be features and things that are coming in Year 7 that were not announced today. So this is just Season 1 is Brooklyn. But they talk about here more depth to the endgame. They said they want to give open world activities more dynamism and things going on there. So we'll see what they mean by that. Spill the tea, who got drunk and acted like a fool while you were there? Really nobody. But I mean, we went out on the last night. All the people were invited. Sergeant Greybeard was there. NGN, awesome guy to meet. Matt, Splinter Shield, DJ Tickle. So many people. It was a lot of fun. Hey, Ure, thank you so much for hanging out, and thank you for the generosity. I mean, what a insane stream this has been. But again, thank you for hanging out. Any chance hunters are replayable? However they worked in DC and New York is how I would expect them to work here. I actually don't. Can you go and replay those puzzles after you do it? I don't remember. But... yeah. Hermes with another 5, man. Thank you so much. From your Sweden trip, what was the most standout feature from the DLC? What stuff that you didn't see are you most looking forward to on release? Most standout feature, I mean, I think I said in my video, my favorite part was the main mission. The H5 refinery was really fun. The bosses were really unique visually. Again, I had some issues with their mechanics that I talk about in that video, but the mission itself was super fun. I'm most looking forward to just exploring the open world, finding these hunter puzzles. That's something that we didn't really have time to do in our demo. And from what I can tell, the open world is super packed with secrets and interactable stuff and all that. So that's probably what I'm most looking forward to. Is this a small DLC? In the devs' words, it's about 6 to 10 hours worth of gameplay. Any option on going Rogue or Red Watch that you got to play? No, not in the DLC at least. But the AI for the DLC is Anna. They said that they recorded no new Isaac lines for all this content, so you have Anna talking to you while you go through the missions, while you do all the stuff, which is pretty cool. Do you think they'll ever add an exclusive named item for completing the hunters? I don't know. That's a good question, Carl. I did not ask that question. It's very possible, given they did that for DC and Wony. Hermes with another 10 gifted. Dude, thank you so much. Absolute frickin' legend. Going to Anonymous, Hop, Jay, Kyle, Naomi, Mechanic, CC, Galahad, hope I'm saying that right, Jason, and Valentin. Welcome to Rogue Studios, courtesy of Hermes. If you're here, please drop him a thank you. When he said there are 12 open world activities, does he mean there are new ones? No, those are the existing activities that we know of. Oops, that was too far. So these are the activities we're familiar with. Obviously, we know control points, but they now have that extra mechanic to them. 10 bounty locations. This is what really surprised me. I thought maybe we would get a few, but to have 8 new hunter riddles is pretty wild. Did you see any of new brand sets or guns? No. But that stuff is all going to come with Year 7 Season 1, right? Like, it's still a full new season alongside Brooklyn. New items, exotics, modifiers, scouts, story, updates, all that stuff. But that was not a part of what we did. Our demo was purely focused on Brooklyn with a fresh level 40 character. I can't be the only one disappointed about no new Dark Sun content, right? I mean, Jake, in an ideal world, absolutely, I'm right there with you. I would have loved to get a new Dark Zone, some kind of new PvP stuff. But what we have to remember is that they never set that expectation, right? From the beginning, they said this is a story DLC. It's going to be smaller than Warlords. And so, of course, as time went on, people were expecting and hoping for more and more and more. But from the beginning, they tried to say this is what it is. It's a story-focused DLC. Only one new exotic in the whole DLC. Well, the Catalyst is what's going to be exclusive to owning Brooklyn, but obviously this launches alongside Year 7 Season 1, which will presumably, this is a pure guess on my part, come with 2 new exotics, all the new stuff that's free for everybody with the season. So, but the Catalyst itself, you will need to own Warlords to collect. Oh, I went past the... There it is. Michael with the 23 months, man. Thank you. Nearly at 100K. Won't be long. It's insane, dude. It's absolutely insane. I mean, I've been doing this for a little over 5 years now. So it's been a wild road to get here, absolutely. Let's just hope this brings in more revenue for the game that leads to more content. That's one sentiment that I like, because I talked to a lot of people while I was there, right? Obviously people we know, Yannick, Palais, Daria, but devs that you would never see on streams and stuff, talk to a lot of them, and they're all really excited for what Brooklyn means for the Division 2, right? And without me prompting them, like, each of them individually that I talked to talked about their excitement and what they think is, what they hope is going to happen for the future. I mean, just in terms of like more, like you said, more stuff happening. And the fact that that's all their mindset, of course, they don't know what's going to happen with Ubisoft or any external factors, but the attitude in the studio was really positive, and that was really cool to see. Michael as well with the 5 gifted, dude. Thank you. Going to Bruno, Alexis, Colby, Bear, and Teak. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Michael, thank you so much for the 5. If y'all are here, please drop him a thank you in the chat. Three questions. Did anyone invite ask about a new survival mode? Are there new collectibles on the map? Can you upgrade the settlement? There's no survival coming with this. I don't know about the future or what they might be thinking there, but there's not anything coming with this. New collectibles on the map. They did confirm that they're over 30. Do they put it here? Collectible. Oh, is this like the cards? Anyway, there's going to be 30 plus new collectibles. Which were not available in our demo, but they did say that is the total amount. And can you upgrade the settlement? They did say...
moodier to try to capture the autumnal contrasts.
I forget where it is, but on the settlement part, they did say that it's going to change as you go through it, or as you go through the DLC.
You'll meet at the bridge throughout the campaign are familiar.
What might have happened in the meantime?
So, I don't know if it'll be like directly our stuff or whatever else, but there is going to be upgrades. Hermes with another 2. Time to start working on my Sokolova dead drop. There you go. I'm not trying to sound super negative, but for how long it's been for actual expansions, is it bad that I expected more? I don't think it's bad. I think it's just the unfortunate reality that the team making this DLC is significantly smaller than the one that made Warlords. But of course, if you don't listen to people like me, that's stuff that the average player or consumer would not be aware of. So if you're purely comparing the time since announcement to release compared to Warlords, yeah, maybe you would expect more. But that is unfortunately how the Division the Division 2 development has gone, is that they have had significant amount of resources reduced from back in the day. Open world comms echoes, yes and yes. Both of those things are there. Fallen Medic, that was shade level. What you're seeing up here, this is your shade level. The max character level is still 40. Mike, thank you so much for hanging out, man. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being here. Will there be new hunters added? Yes, there are 8 new hunters to track down in here. 8 new hunter riddles. Someone asked if they showed the skill. Yes, the new skill is Smart Cover. There's a precision and a fortified variant. The precision one, at least, is very good. It's the one I used during my gameplay and demo. Will there be a DLC Season Pass package? I don't know. I do not know. Any word on new character customization? Not that I'm aware of. That's not something they talked about. But again, I'm not sure.
The Purple Flame. People might be familiar with the idea of the Purple Flame. Those who have played the Incursion, the Mirror Estate, they might have seen that already.
Did you ask them about PvP? It definitely came up in the workshops, yeah. I don't think I can get into like super specific details because those all are largely, you know, NDA'd. But PvP was definitely discussed, yeah. I made sure to bring it up because, you know, that's a huge part of my identity in the Division franchise, and I know a lot of people care about it, so. Klein, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the positivity. It's going to be a good next month for sure. Appreciate you, my friend. Any specifics on the weapon stats boost they mentioned? At what part are you referring to, King? Heartland is not coming back, Sofa. I'm sorry. I wish. You know I do.
This is something we introduced.
Were there any cinematics with Keener and the whole lot? I am not going to spoil story stuff, but there are cinematics. Like, as you go through, even the side missions have certain cinematics tied to them, and they're pretty revelatory. Some of them, at least. So, and again, we only played the first approximately third of the DLC. So, story-wise, I have no idea if I can get to the map again. We played these two world missions and this main mission. I have no idea what's going to happen in this one, in these. So the story could go in many different directions, and they tease that there might be some cool stuff happening as you go through, so. When the control points change between factions, will it be because one faction beat another or just a dev change? I don't know. I mean, however it changes currently in like DC and New York, you know, how sometimes a control point is hyenas or sometimes it's outcast. However that happens, I assume that's the same tech they have going in here, but I don't know if I could answer that definitively. Did you meet the new game director on your trip? No, he's at the Bucharest studio, and we were a massive. We did get to meet this lovely gentleman right here and him. They were both there as representatives from Bucharest. Super nice guys. There were two other people as well. Again, they were all lovely. I didn't have a single negative interaction the entire time. And of course, I mean, we all know Yannick and all of them that I've watched on streams for 9 years now. So it was really surreal to meet a lot of them in person. How integral to the story are the world missions? Are they entirely separate from the main story, or do they play into the larger narrative? They're definitely not inconsequential. Something I mentioned earlier was that the campaign here is linear, so it directs you to do each thing in a specific order, and the dialogue will play in from one thing to the other. So, like, you do the intro sequence, you end up at the settlement, they say, hey, you need to go and do this, and you go and do it. Then they say, hey, check this out, you go and do it. Once I was done with the main mission, it was like, hey, come back to the settlement, something's happening. And that's where the demo ended, but it all feeds into each thing, yeah. I don't think it was a matter of Robert. I just don't think it worked out to bring her back. It is a new voice actor. Same as the comms we've been getting with her for the past few seasons. The pre-orders available? I don't know. I have no details on pre-order or anything like that. Did you meet Daria? Yes. Got to chat with Daria a good bit. Super nice person. How many content creators were invited? How was it for you to meet them? How did it feel? It wasn't just content creators specifically. There were 10 people invited though, like as part of my group and like on the trip. But people like NGN, Sergeant Graybeard, who I've chatted with a lot over the years. Super nice guys. DJ Tickle was awesome. But also they had people like Isabel, who moderates the Discord server and does stuff online. She was there. She was great. Blimp with the $2. Thank you so much. Glad you were selected for the trip. Well deserved. Thank you very much. Like I said, being a part of this community and doing this for so long, doing something like that is pretty surreal. And yeah, it was an amazing time. I think I slightly misinterpreted, but at 217 he says additionally exciting. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is now the full video. Perfect. Okay, 217.
Variety of in-game events, including XP multipliers as well as seasonal projects.
Additionally, exciting new features such as weapon stats and resource boost will be introduced.
Year 6 introduced one of the most anticipated quality of...
Yeah, so just a quick little mention. Like I said, there was no like definitive Year 7 roadmap shared with this. Some of that stuff I can't talk about, but I assume at some point we will get more details on those things. Any info on how to get exotic blueprints? So I believe they said, let's go back and listen.
Thing to look forward to. Year 7 will solidify seasons as a cornerstone.
Take a sneak peek at what's in store for the upcoming Year 7.
Year 7 will focus on 3 main goals. With the constant influx of new players, improving and streamlining the onboarding process for new agents is more important than ever. We are also focused on adding more depth to the endgame, ensuring there is always something exciting to look forward to. Year 7 will solidify seasons as a cornerstone of the Division 2 experience. Our ambition is to increase the pace and situations, allowing for more regular updates and fresh experiences. Of course, seasons are not the only thing you can expect. During Year 7, we want to make the open world a more dynamic part of the endgame. For example, we're working on introducing an entirely new wrapper to open world activities that react to your actions while unlocking exotic blueprints farming to help you complete your arsenal.
So he says right there that aside from seasons in Year 7, they're going to introduce some kind of new feature to the open world that increases the variety and reacts to what you do, and it gives you exotic blueprints. Sounds interesting. Wink, wink. You met the historian NGN himself. Yeah, NGN was awesome. 100%. Splinter posted a hazard bag. That was something that he already owned, Remzo. That was not something that we were given. Did you get the hoodie? I did. It was pretty sweet. I won't lie. Actually, it's sitting next to me right now. I appreciate your cover. God. Stumbling over so many words today. I appreciate your coverage. From what it sounds like, you guys did express concern about the state of PvP, correct? Yes, PvP was discussed. Well, crew, we need an unboxing video with the swag bag and every cool thing you got. I can tell you right now, I posted the two on Twitter, the hoodie and the backpack. Inside the backpack was a Kerman coffee mug, which is pretty cool, a Massive Entertainment branded water bottle, and a Velcro patch of the Shade Phoenix logo. Those were the things I got. Lauren then also, actually that's not true. We went into the stream room where they do all the dev streams and whatnot, and I got one of the classic orange Division cards that they ordered back in the Division 1 days, a blank one. So that's pretty cool. piece of Division history. And then Lauren made everybody some like crochet Division theme stuff, which was very kind of her. But that was cool. Any discussion around the Dark Zone and its current state? All I can say is that yes, PvP and the Dark Zone were discussed in the workshops. Are there any more exotic weapons and armor coming with this DLC? The one that's coming specifically for owning Brooklyn is this right here. Whoops.
Effect damage. So while
the Catalyst. But then Year 7 Season 1 launches alongside Brooklyn, and that'll have its own suite of new stuff that's available for everybody, not just DLC owners. Does Massive have any plans on selling real-life apparel for the Division? I don't know how much it's in their control. I mean, Ubisoft used to have a physical store online. Well, that's contradictory for me to say physical store online, but a merchandise store online that you could buy stuff from for all the franchises, and then they shut it down. So I don't know if there's plans to bring something like that back. All right, crew, I'm not going to lie to you. I've been up for many hours already. I was finishing editing that 32-minute video that I posted on my Brooklyn demo experience, so I'm kind of tired, and I might go take a quick nap after this. So if anyone has any last questions you want to ask about the DLC, about the trip, whatever, while I'm live here, feel free to do so now, and then I'm probably going to sign off and go sleep for a little bit. But we'll have a lot more to talk about in the coming days, of course. I can share. I did a sit-down interview with Yannick while we were at Massive. I'm going to get to post that sometime in the coming days. So there's a lot of stuff coming up.
There, you'll be tasked with protecting the people who built the settlement. Some of the characters you'll meet at the bridge throughout the campaign are familiar faces, like Theo Parnell and Dr. Candle, and a brand new face that we've really only heard her voice, Agent Hoskins.
Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? What are they saying on Twitter? I haven't really looked. So they've just said it's coming. Twitch drops. But yeah, I don't think there's a pre-order available yet. Do they have targeted loot zones? I mean, the open world and the main missions, yes. I asked if the new world missions are going to be included in the targeted loot rotation, since they are replayable, and the devs were not sure at the time of the demo if they would be. Thank you, Sniper. When are we officially getting a character of yourself in the game? I have no idea. That would be amazing, but I would never expect something like that to happen. All right, crew. Well, that might just be about it for me then. That was the Year 7 and Brooklyn DLC Showcase. Again, it launches in just about 1 month on May 27th. We're going to have a ton to do between now and then. Of course, we have the finale for Year 6 Season 3 coming up, the Master Mission. Then this is dropping right after. $15 alongside Year 7 Season 1. Not long to wait. All right, I'm not seeing any more questions. So, oh wait, what did Trey say? Question is, are we officially Rogue now? Not that I saw in the DLC, but I don't want to give too many story spoilers. Anna is the AI. You get Anna talking to you as you go through stuff, so there's that. But I don't know. All right, I'll probably leave it there. Again, everyone watching this, of course, you've done enough already by being here. Thank you for such a, by the way, an amazing and generous stream. Did we have over 2,000 people at one point, someone said? That's astronomical. And we had so many generous gifted subs, donations. Thank you all for the love. Couldn't say thank you enough. I say it in the videos as well, but the fact that I was even considered to go on this trip is purely because of you all giving me the time of day, allowing me to make this silly channel online where we talk about a video game. So thank you for that. And I will continue doing my best to deliver. if you watch this stream, thank you. If you want to check out the video I did on my demo and experience playing Brooklyn, that video is live. There is additional gameplay and footage there you can check out. And, you know, just to give the extra view if you want to. But regardless, thank you for giving me the time of day, checking out the stuff. And, yeah, I'll be back very soon. We'll have a lot to talk about. So, 2.5K at one point. That's insane. That's insane. All right. Thank you all for being here. I will see you back soon. And until then, RogueGold out.